February is here. What a wonderful month.
It is here.
What a time.
Month. It's one of the worst months. Nothing happens in February, does it?
But it's always the shortest month. So
yeah, it's got an extra day this year. Welcome back, everyone, to Down in Boring.
Down in Boring.
Good. Down
Doing
in
it
Boring.
for 4 years.
That's where I Down in Boring. We'll make this show a whole day long, and it'll feel like February is the normal length of time.
Yeah, it's a nice
also,
way
I said
for you
nothing
to
happens in February, but it is Valentine's Day and Pancake Day and my anniversary in February, so that's probably quite a lot of stuff, isn't it?
Leap year this year, so it's longer, which is quite a weird thing.
What does that mean? Does anything happen in a leap year?
Do you know what it means for me? It means I have to wait 1 day extra for my birthday, because my birthday is March the 1st, and therefore...
we all have to wait 1 day extra. Yours is just the closest 1 day extra.
It's just actively against me, isn't it? It's like there's that one added day just thrown in there.
That's
just
true.
Like, oh yeah, not just
yet.
Well,
you're going to be 18 this year, aren't you? Big one.
You're damn right. You know, thriving with age. Because as you can tell, I'm exuding youth on this podcast. And have forevermore. But... I hope everyone's having a lovely time. Great to be in February. We've got a good show this week. We don't have a guest this week. It's just us. It's an old school one, if you will. You know, it's a classic.
Sean from Courting, if you're listening, I hope you're enjoying rehearsing for your so-called shows. Anyone who has tickets to see Courting or is thinking about buying them, I'd go, because they are the reason we could not have them on is they're rehearsing. So they'll be very good.
Yes,
they'll be better than if they spent an hour and a half chatting nonsense to us. But this podcast is all the worse for it. So
yeah,
it giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, we'll take the hit for a wonderful show from Courting.
We will
shout out, of course, their second album that came out. We haven't been able to talk about it on the show because it's fallen in the gap. But an amazing album.
It's fallen in the gap. We would have talked about it today. We would have talked about it. Oh. God, you wouldn't have been able to stop us talking about it.
But alas, obviously rolling through all the music news, fun albums. We're going to talk about the Last Dinner Party's album. I don't know if you've heard, but that's out.
Oh, me?
Yeah, it's out.
I've heard. Yeah, I thought it was rhetorical for the audience.
It's out. And we're going to be talking about it later on, a load of new music and more. Of course, Housekeeping, Jake, we're here once again. Thanks to everyone who came to the Dork Hype List 2024 show at the 100 Club.
Yeah,
Gretel
I had a great
Shelf
time.
Lives and Slady Bay. You did. You were bouncing around the room, weren't you? I saw you actually...
I was.
You did threaten to stage dive at one point, and you had to be forcibly removed.
I did. Yeah, unfortunately, that was before the show had started. So if you didn't see me there, that's why.
That's why. Not allowed back in. But thanks for coming along. Thanks to all the artists. Sensational time. And also, Gretel Hannon did a cover of Zombie, which was wonderful. So shout out Gretel. Looking forward to it when it comes. Not the Jamie T one. There you go. Yeah. It was the Cranberries version. It wasn't the Jamie T version, I can confirm. But thanks to everyone who came down. Our next live fun and games is Dorks Night Out at Colours, London. Whee! Lizzie Ozo and Human Interest playing 15th of February. You can go buy a ticket. By now, we should have added the other act, but it's still not out there. So by the time you hear this, it should be that there's another act playing. And if I said Borough Council, then that should be who's been added. But if they haven't been added and aren't playing, I take no responsibility in that.
Great, I think you've covered yourself there.
And the Church of Blood Records, of course, will be down at Earth in Hackney on Saturday, March 23rd. So go get a ticket for that. Peace, Chapackwell Wrestling, Phoebe Green, Monks. Go, do it now. We'll have a dork stage. We'll see you there.
Your heart's not in it anymore, you know.
I'm just aware. I want to fly out to everyone. When we started, when me and Jake said, right, okay, we're gonna jump on a call at this time to do this week's show. We spent half an hour talking about Scorpions, the band from Europe. Who
anyone younger than us?
No idea who this band are.
Basically, if you're like 50 plus, you'll know them. And if you're around 30, you'll know them because Guitar Hero put a load of their songs on Guitar Hero 3, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And if you're younger than us and didn't play Guitar Hero, you won't know them.
Yeah.
Needless to say, they're not worth spending half an hour talking about, and I regret having done so.
And we did.
We did.
Go buy tickets. Do it now.
Not to Scorpions.
Not to
Buy tickets to the
Scorpions.
Church of Blood Records and the Dorks Night
and the
Out
Dorks Night
with
Out.
Listening Zone and Human Interest.
Yes, do that. Go buy up. They're going to be really, really fun nights. And yeah, lots more Dork Live stuff to be announced through the year. Whilst here...
I have it on good authority that one of the bands will be covering Rock You Like a Hurricane.
It's a must now. It's a simple must. Obviously, while here, go pick up a copy of the latest edition of Dork magazine itself. Go to the Dork website, pick it up. It's an amazing read, including Jake's chat with Yardak. You're not going to big that up?
Sorry, I was drinking some water there. Didn't we do that last time?
Yeah,
Didn't we big that up last time?
Yeah, we can keep promoting, mate. The magazine's still on sale. We've got business to build.
You know, I like it to sell itself.
Oh, there you go. Yardak caught in
which it will do with the excellent chat with Yardak in this month's magazine. You happy now, Jamie?
Yep. Yeah, great. Should we go on to some music news?
I'd love to. Let's shill for some other people.
You know, 2024, I didn't really expect that we'd be here talking about Talking Heads so much, but it's been a busy week, time for Talking Heads. There, as details been announced of a very special Stop Making Sense tribute album, which is coming out.
This is tied to the 4K reissue of Stop Making Sense, the concert film.
Yeah, was it a reissue?
Cinemas?
It was a reissue. Remastered. Okay, there we go. Yeah, of Stop Making Sense.
Who cares? Yeah. The same, but better.
Yes.
And I went. You know,
yes.
I cared. Yeah, it was good. It's nice. Yeah.
It's
nice.
Yeah. Probably
like the tribute album.
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing. It's called Everyone's Getting Involved, which is what it's gonna be called. And it's packed with people basically. So you've got the likes of Lorde, Miley Cyrus, Blonde Shell, The National, Kevin Abstract, Linda Linders, Tizo Touchdown, Bad Bad Not Good, and more will all be getting involved, covering certain songs. We don't know which ones they're covering yet, apart from Paramore, who tied it with their issue of Burning Down the House, which has come out with this.
I
news.
like this cover because it sounds like Paramore, but they also haven't done anything weird with it. You know, that's always the worry with a tribute or whatever, that someone will come on and be like, "Hey, I've got my own take on this song," and it sucks because no one wants that.
It's like, would you? But I don't know. Would you rather someone like cover it and make it their own version and it sounds really good, or someone comes on, kind of covers it just the way that it is, and it's like a bit shit? What's like?
Well, no, you want what Paramore have done, which is it's obviously them, but they haven't done something weird.
I mean. Yes.
I think actually the alternative, if you had everyone doing weird shit, you'd have to call it a remix. I think rather than a tribute.
Much like the Paramore remix album that we covered, but a few months ago. So Paramore really on the rise of just having fun with stuff and just like getting involved with all sorts of things. This is a really, 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 really good cover, which is really great to hear. And I'm really excited to see what all the other artists will do with that. Because Talking Heads kind of, I mean, Jake, you are quite the Talking Heads fan.
I've been known to dabble. That is true. More
so, me and you. You are more equipped in the Talking Heads knowledge. So, are you generally excited by this, or are you more like?
I think, like, in the spirit of good fun. Yeah, I can't imagine 5 years from now I'll be sitting down to listen to it, but it's a fun thing to exist, right? Which is, that's fine. I mean, it's not like to be added to the canon, but if everyone has as much fun with it as Paramore do, then yeah. But I feel like there's a worry. I think especially when, maybe both ways, but when the band is still alive, there is a worry. I think that people do it too straight and narrow because they're a bit like overawed by the legacy of the band, which is why I think people like Lorde, Paramore, Kevin Abstract like that, like they're big enough in their own right that they're not going to be like, oh God, I'm covering like one of these like incredible songs, you know?
Yeah,
so I think it'll be good fun.
Yeah, no, exactly. And also,
they're not. I don't think Suede are doing any. No.
Like fuck. Also, it's just in general a busy time. Talking Heads, as we talked about the re-release, the remaster of the film. But there were also reports this week as well that they turned down $80 million for a short reunion tour.
Yeah.
Are you, as a Talking Heads fan, are you kind of happy with it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, I saw David Byrne I saw him twice when he toured in
Yes, of course.
2018, and he was great.
Amazing show.
The
Yeah.
issue is that Chris Frantz and Tina Weymouth hate David Byrne. So a reunion tour would be like only for the money and probably suck.
Yeah, probably not. It probably wouldn't be
They
fun.
very publicly hate each other, and David Byrne recently has been like, hey, maybe we shouldn't, and they don't seem to. So it's a whole weird beef thing, and
Yeah.
they haven't been together for so long that you go and see them at one of 8 dates in the US, and they're not having fun, and then that's their legacy. Is that what you want?
Yeah. They were recently, of course, they did actually, appear together when promoting the remaster. So I think that's where they're like, oh well, there they are. They're standing next to each other.
True. It's true. It was like the first of a small rapprochement. Maybe in 5 years, maybe 6 years, maybe they'll all get together again. When they're really old. I just, it doesn't. I think because David Byrne's still so active and still releasing good music, it's not. It doesn't feel like some gaping void.
I quite enjoy just the fact that so in this report, Coachella were interested in a Talking Heads reunion, of course. The festival curator and president of Golden Voice, this guy, Paul Tillett, travelled to the Toronto International Film Festival to discuss the potential of a performance with Talking Heads, but since there were no shows happening, so I didn't make an offer. Brilliant. Great trip, mate. Well done.
Great, yeah. Well done. Isn't he some horrible, Republican dickhead as well?
Yes. There is a long history of Golden Voice being associated in some form with the Republican Party. So,
great stuff.
Great. But what is much better, we can ignore all of that and just push that to the side, because fuck that, is this cover of Burning Down the House by Paramore, which is really, really good fun, and we're going to have a listen to now.
Also, if you enjoy this, you should listen to the Tom Jones cover of Burning Down the House from the same album the Sex Bomb is on, because it's everything you need.
Really, really set up Paramore badly there by just being like, Tom Jones, though.
They're both great. The Paramore one's legitimately good. The Tom Jones one is such a window into a special time. That's the same album with Mama Told Me Not to Come with the Stereophonics.
Yes, it was. And I believe Robbie Williams on there to do...
yes.
Yeah, to do a song. Good fun.
Great.
Good fun.
Thanks for that, mate, to do a song.
Well, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Let's get the history up here. Talk amongst yourselves whilst I just... what do you do? Are You Gonna Go My Way? He did.
That's right. Great. Yes, of course.
Do you know what way...
the Burning Down the House was Tom Jones and the Cardigans.
Wonderful. That is not going to be on the tribute album that's coming out. So, yeah. You have to go. You can go into that now and then prepare yourself for the rest of the tribute album to come. Looking forward to it. Talking Heads just reigning supreme, ultimately, in the start of the year. So, shout out. Whilst there's one band who are inactive but are getting a tribute band about them, there's another band who are about to be inactive, and that is the news that Yumi at Six have announced that they're going to be splitting up. Their time has come. It's been 20 years as a band.
Well, no, it hasn't.
Well, they're announcing they are.
This is what's annoyed me about this.
So
it's been 19 years. It's been 19 years, and they said we're breaking up in over a year.
It's like a countdown. It's a countdown to the end.
Yeah, but that to me is just a cynical way of selling tickets.
But then you can all go and you can see the band for the last time.
More generously, it's probably for fans to see them. But I think they should have announced...
You at the back getting livid.
Well, no. See, because the way they announced it, they were like, we're breaking up. And it was like, I think maybe you should have announced it as like, we're like putting the band away, Breaking up sounds acrimonious. It sounds like a split.
I think that's unfair. Yeah, they've done. Do you know what? Now is the time for the band to end. We've done all these amazing things, And
Yumi at 6, if you are listening, you cannot split up without sending us the promised hot sauce.
we are, yes, friends of the show, Yumi at 6, did promise us their
We
Yumi at 6
were
hot sauce.
promised hot sauce by a man who just a few sentences previously said, even I can't get hold of any.
That was when the album went to number 1 as well. That was Sucker Punch at number 1. So we're owed some hot sauce.
We are. Come on. What, you reckon we sent it to number 1?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. They weren't, they didn't come on the show.
The more you think about it, the less possible that seems.
Don't think about it. Yeah, I mean, Yumi at 6. I mean, just in general, I guess they've been like a bit of a pillar of British rock
20
music.
20 years is pretty mad.
Like, yeah, they've done all these things. Big. You know, playing arenas, huge rooms. You know, like they were this band when growing up who were always there and always about and always putting out tracks, and kind of seeing them rise, and kind of, I guess, the scene of bands around it as well that rose as well with them was amazing to see. And like, you know, 2 number 1 albums, like always kind of like in that top 10, like always playing to big rooms, always headlining festivals as well. You know, they've got this legacy that I think people maybe aren't going to realise until they're gone and further down the line they go.
I think because they never really like peaked and declined is probably why, isn't it?
That's a very good point, actually. They always were just kind of like, you know, on this kind of level, weren't they? They were like, that's this big British rock band. Like, you know, there was no matter, oh God, now they're going, you know, a bit down here. They've always been that, and they've always pushed forward and, kind of embraced kind of the next step. So I think, it's a really sad time to see them go. It kind of feels like a bit of I think for a lot of people, an end of an era of certain bands and artists.
Probably the end of the era when Yumi at 6 were together.
Well, that as well. They're going to kind of close out, I guess, their career, like you say, over the next year or so. They're going to be headlining Slam Dunk, which will be their final UK festival performance. And then next year, they're kind of just going on a bit of a farewell run across the world. So if you want to see Yumi at 6. Yeah, final tour. Yes, let's go with that. Let's get it official. Until then, let's have listen to a big Yumi at 6 song to mark it all. This is Underdog.
You must have the moment in your hands, and it's sad to think that the season I'm gonna change, just not face to face. It ain't wrong, so don't fix it. Underdog, just look at the mess you made. It's such a shame.
There they go. A sad day, a sad time. That's a friend of the show gone.
Another one.
Yeah, really enjoyed when the guys came on the show. You can go listen back if you scroll through the archives to our wonderful chat that we had. Good on Yumi at 6, a wonderful time.
How many friends of the show have retired musical identities?
I don't like where this is going, because you're suggesting that we are in some way a curse.
No, I'm not. I just think, when you've been going for a while, you do build up a bit of a body pile.
I can think. Well, technically we're on 3 now because, of course, the Magic Gang will be saying their farewell later this year. Friends of the show as well. We were unable to talk about that because it arrived in a week where we weren't on. So, also, shout out to the Magic Gang. Very sad news. They will be waving farewell in May, but they'll also be playing festivals in the summer. So keep an eye out and go to those as well. So I think 3. Technically, bands like friends of the show, because it'll be Yumi at 6 now, sad times. The Magic Gang, sad times, and Lazarus Kane, who also were on the show, who are no longer a band. So.
There's a lot that I have completely forgotten.
Well, this is like a real intervention, isn't it? Like,
I know. I'm just looking through the people we've interviewed. I mean, because there's over 100, I'm literally there like, did we do that?
Yeah, as you scroll through, Jay, do you think, boy, what a catalogue of amazing shows that anyone can go back and listen to whenever they'd like?
For free.
Wow.
That is exactly what I think, yeah.
You can do that via the Dork Radio app, where you can listen to the shows in full, or available on all your favourite podcast platforms. Spotify, Apple, is there any others? Deezer? Are we on Deezer?
I think there's, what is it called? There is actually like a podcast one people use.
Is it Acast, or is that a separate thing?
Maybe? Or? Who knows? Who even cares? Whatever you're listening to this on, you can listen to them on that.
And we appreciate you listening nonetheless. But go back, have a listen through. So yes, on the real positive note of the bands who've been on this show who are now no longer a band, got some really big news though of what's coming in the future. I don't know if you're aware, Jake, or if you're excited, but Jennifer Lopez has been up to business.
Police Car Collective have also sadly separated.
Oh, so we're on 4 now. I think if we get to 5, we're in a real...
Maybe we should only interview solo stars from now on.
Are we on 5? Is there anyone else? Please say no.
I don't know. Let's say there aren't any more.
No, exactly. Go and celebrate your favourite bands while you can. And you can do that with You, Me at 6 and the Magic Gang over the next year. So do that. Jennifer Lopez, Jake. Back to the real important topics.
Yes, back to the real news. Apologies to drag us down there.
Into the pit of just the end of things. Jennifer Lopez, international pop superstar, movie star, icon.
Priestgate have also really broken up.
Okay, Jake. Do you reckon we can get Bob the Builder on the show? And
He's
say
not
that
real, so probably, if you can do the voice.
Jennifer Lopez is producing a movie, a Bob the Builder movie. It's been announced that, she is working on a film which will see Roberto, a.k.a. Bob, travel to Puerto Rico for a major construction job where he takes on issues affecting the island and digs deeper into what it means to build. Now,
I think this is possibly the worst legacy that the Barbie movie will give us.
What, not
this particularly, but just now everything is like, hey, you know that kids thing? Now it's a film.
Yeah, there's
shut up. That's what I say.
Well, this is it. Yes, following obviously Barbie being a huge success, this is but one of many different toy property films that are being made. So I don't know if you know there's a film about Polly Pocket that is actually in the works. So Lena Dunham is making a Polly Pocket movie. One that I am really into is Barney the Dinosaur, which is being created by Daniel Kaluuya. So I'm into this. And also a Hot Wheels film being produced by J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, that's just cars, isn't it?
But apparently it's going to be emotional, grounded, and gritty.
I don't need it to be those things. It's about Hot Wheels.
A bit more information here on Jennifer.
It's like, there's a sequel to Schindler's List that's going to be a buoyant, action-packed family feature. So you've picked the wrong IP then, haven't you?
We don't need this. We don't need this. So the film basically is Bob the Builder going to Puerto Rico, celebrating the vibrant and colourful textures of the Caribbean Latin nations and their people.
Of course, and who better to do that?
Who better than Bob the
Builder?
Bob the Builder. At that point, you go, maybe we just start it's another film. It's not a Bob the Builder film.
Exactly. It's a builder.
Yeah,
potentially.
Potentially
doesn't have to be Bob.
No. Just doing stuff. A director has not yet been named, but the screenplay will be written by someone whose most recent film was a body horror short set in an orphanage plagued by a shadowy fairy who collects more than just the children's teeth. What?
Yeah, great. That sounds right to me. Perfect.
What? For years, Bob the Builder's characters have inspired young people around the world. This is from Anthony Ramos, who will star in the film, but also is involved, in production and working on that as well. So for years, Bob the Builder's characters have inspired young people around the world. A movie about friends working together, a celebration of a beautiful home they share, and how love can help to conquer any obstacle in your way. Can we fix it? Yes, we can.
Shut up. That's horrible.
What's Jennifer Lopez doing? I like
true.
Jennifer Lopez, but at what point you're like, yeah, I'll get involved in that. I'll produce that.
Yeah,
Anything else? That's
I
all I'm
think-
asking for here.
Maybe like this is some weird fever dream.
It feels like it. Were you a Bob the Builder watcher as a kid? I guess for anyone who
No, I
doesn't
think
know
Bob
Bob
the
the
Builder was a
Builder,
little
by the
bit,
way,
was
was
after our time, maybe.
older. Yeah. It was around. I remember vividly. But yeah, it was. It ran from 1999 to 2011, which is quite an impressive
Yeah,
run, which I
so
didn't
that
realize it was on
means
for that
that
long for.
realistically, we're too old for it.
Yeah, it crossed over, didn't
yeah.
it? At that point, but yeah, shame. I didn't know they did a US run of the film. So, that's not important. Basically, if Jennifer Lopez is into the producing game, anything else I think would probably be understandable. Is there a cartoon, Jake, that you would want to be made into the Hollywood film treatment? Like, has anything crossed your mind?
Not really, no. You?
There it is. No, not really. I was thinking
I'll tell you what,
Beyblades.
actually, a live action remake of Courage the Cowardly Dog, because it would be the most horrifying thing on the planet. It would do really badly, and people would stop making these films.
What was the name of the really big red dog?
Clifford.
Yes, because they made an updated version of that.
Do you remember when we asked Charlie from Shane, shout out Charlie if you're
Shout out,
listening,
Charlie, yeah.
whether he would rather do something with Summing or Clifford the Big Red Dog? And he said, "Who's that?" And I said, "It's a dog." And he said, "Well, what does he look like?" Which I think is possibly the best response.
This was also when, we had been regaled by a story about a real adventure in Italy from Charlie from Shame. Again, you can go back and listen to this. The archive's there.
You can go back.
Oh, what an archive we have of just.
If you want to
truly
listen to
brilliant
just
moments.
one guest from the early days of Down with Boring, I cannot recommend anyone more than Charlie from Shame.
A highlight of all the times. The Bob the Builder movie is being worked on. There isn't a release date yet, but that is what Jennifer Lopez is up to. In the meantime, though, let's obviously listen to I guess Bob the Builder's true legacy, which was that Bob the Builder actually has a number one single.
He does.
Yep,
He
that's right.
does.
A number one single. It is called "Can He Fix It?" And here it is by Bob the Builder. A huge tune, a great tune. Bob
I
the
don't
Builder.
think it's a great tune.
It's not a great tune. I think that's very fair. We can probably hold off on that and say it's a no. Should we get on to some new music, Jake?
Yes.
Go on then. Yes, from Bob the Builder, Can We Fix It? To
The Thrill of It by Pixey.
Oh, lovely.
Exciting, isn't it? Sorry,
Yeah.
I was vividly imagining Bob the Builder and it scared me.
Terrified you in your place. Amazing. That's
How
what
big
you want.
is he?
What, Bob the Builder?
Yeah.
I couldn't say. I presume that though in the cartoon he was just an average sized man. Was the idea of it? It wasn't like he was it wasn't like he was
He's
in like
not
a
average
make-believe world.
dimensions, is he?
No.
Anyway, Pixey, friend of the show, friend of the
show.
magazine,
Yes.
friend,
Yes.
has released a new single, The Thrill of It. This is actually the first track that she's released that is self-produced, which is impressive because when I listened to it, I thought it was one of the most polished ones that she's done.
No.
So either she's learned production really quickly, or she always should have been producing her own stuff. One of the two.
Yes. A mixture.
It's really
I'm sure.
poppy. and it's really fun. And it's got a big chorus, and it's kind of everything that I always thought Pixie kind of would be doing at some point. So it's quite fun to listen to it. Like this feels like it could be like Radio 1, like classic, like big pop, like a little bit of edge to it, but like it's a big pop song, and it's great.
Yeah, exactly. And you've kind of like I guess the like journey that Pixie's been on has been a really interesting one, because obviously she kind of arrived right in the middle of a pandemic, right? It was like, here is the first songs, and it was like, bam, here it is, amazing. And I guess like a lot of things that maybe like you would I don't know, like have some time to play around with if you weren't in the midst of the fact that you couldn't leave your house. Pixie wasn't able to do that in that time, but instead kind of just like crafted these like really amazing, like joyous like indie pop songs that was really like amazing to fall into. So, and to see that growth over the years and with each step has been amazing. Like we've talked about, you know, tracks like Daisy Chain, which kind of came out last year. Talked about kind of like when she was releasing the Dreams, Pains and Paper Planes EP. Like its growth is really stunning, and like you say, this feels the most, I don't know, I guess weirdly like fully formed. And that's not to say that everything that came before wasn't, but like it just feels like, oh wow, like here is this, like here's the moment now. Like she's kind of really like stepped that up and like done it in such a confident
I don't even
fashion.
think like fully formed. It is just that polish to it. I think it's like it was always quite like like fully formed and like there and everything. But this to me just feels like a little step in a new direction. I think it just works really, really well. Like I just think it's different to her other stuff, and I think some people may well prefer like the older stuff because it still holds up really well. But for me, like this is just like kind of a culmination of what when I first listened to Pixie I wanted to be happening. I'm happy,
it's exciting.
even if none of you at home are.
It's really great, and it's like brilliant to see. And I think Pixie just continues to like just build and build and build, and this is exciting. You know, it feels a real exciting kind of like next chapter. So looking forward to everything that comes.
Yeah, this is the thrill of it by Pixie.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. I've got a song for you now, Jake.
Yeah.
And this one is from FA, who has dropped a brand new track. It's hard to say this. Truth, star sign, truth. The truth, star sign, truth.
Right. Is it star sign or is it
it's
an
a
asterisk?
Star sign.
Which is it? It's a little star.
It's a star in the middle. So you've got truth, star, truth. Truth, star, truth.
I wonder how you're meant to say that.
Is it easy to Google? I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe it's truth. It's fine. It doesn't matter, basically, because FA's doing what she wants. And it's a really, really stunning, like, return kind of from her. Like, I guess, like, for people who aren't aware, obviously an amazing, like, I guess, Irish singer-songwriter, produced, like, everything kind of, like, tied in, kind of emerging, I guess, like, a couple of years ago now, really, with these kind of really, I guess, like, just really, like, stunning, almost bedroom poppy sort of, like, lush sounds that kind of, really made her stand out. And, it's been 18 months now since she put out a track. And this is how to return in style. This track is just such, like, it's a big...
God, imagine if it sucked.
What, after 18 months?
I think as a band, if I was in a band, I would just be like, look, let's just release a song like every day, because like, and then no one's going to be anticipating. I don't think I'd be cut out for it. The stress would be too much for me. If it had been 18 months, it would just be like never again. I never really sympathised with anyone more than when SZA was basically just there, like after her first album, like, I'm just never going to do anything again. Please leave me alone. I was like, me too, man.
Back it. I back it. This is like how to come back. If you've got this in the arsenal, you'd be like, we're going to be fine here. This is like, it's tender yet just incredibly roaring. It's like, the most, like, I guess the loudest, like, kind of like sound that she's ever gone with. These like crunching like guitars and like those rocky elements.
Crunching.
Kind of like, which has been hinted at a little bit with kind of like some tracks that she's put out before, but this is like full on. Like, this is her being able to really go for it. It's heavier.
This is like Captain Crunch, you know? This is the real crunchy nut clusters.
That's what it is. Yes, it feels really, really this exciting kind of like statement of kind of like where she wants to go as an artist. And I think it's just really exciting. And it almost feels like, I don't want to say like a completely new artist, but like with the amount of time that it's been, it just does feel like, right, this is something completely bold and fresh. And yeah, really, really exciting. I love this. I think it is this proper big statement that kind of builds on everything that's come before, but does feel like the start of something. And yeah, an amazing track. So let's have a listen now. Also, if you like this, go online to the Dork website and read our latest playlist cover with FA, where read all about the track and kind of what's been going on and where she's going next.
An interview.
An interview, if you will. This is FA with Truth. There's a star in the middle, though. Oh, joyous. A good time for new music. It's a busy time, but it's a good time.
Did you see in the news recently that a man in America had an inert nuclear bomb in his garage?
What do you mean by that? So what they
So
found?
he had like the fuel tank for the missile, for a nuclear missile.
Right.
And the police had to come and get rid of it. Anyway, I'm saying that because I was actually in Falkirk recently,
Right.
and I actually found a nuclear bomb of my own up
Right.
there.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't be bothered to keep going with this. There's a new track from Brogeel called Girl from New York City, and it's really good. Brogeel are Scottish folk band. I would say, I mean, they supported Mary Wallopers on their recent tour. They're really tapping into that kind of folky revival. Like, it's kind of like that, the post-punk, like punk's sensibility of like a band that happened to be making folk music rather than someone coming out of some airy-fairy folk tradition and doing the classics on a harp on stage at the Royal Albert Hall.
Don't use the word folk as like, it's
not pejorative.
No, exactly.
But it's just really good because I think like this music, same with Mary Wallopers, like this was like pub music. It was like drinking music first. And it's great seeing like new bands, the same as happens like semi-regularly, the same as the Dubliners did when they first got together, and that rediscovering it for what it is, which is just like rowdy, like good sing-along fun music. We saw Brogeel support Mary Wallopers. They were great. I kept an eye on them since then. This new track is really, really good. It's they've written it themselves, which is cool as well. A lot of them do like folk standards, like bands like this, but they've written it. It's about Falkirk. It's about pubs closing in Falkirk, and then a girl from New York City ending up in Falkirk, running to be the leader of the council and then saving the town.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, that's good.
I love
so
it.
it's a really, really nice song to listen to. And then when you actually pay attention to the lyrics, it's also like incredibly absurd and quite funny as well. So it's a yes from me.
Yeah, it's just like kind of like short bursts. I mean, like you say, this kind of sound where it is this sing-along feel to it that almost like, I'm not going to say it doesn't take itself too seriously, because of course, this is, it's not like they're like messing around and they're not being serious about this, but like it just really like at its core is just sing-along fun and just a very like easy sort of feel to everything that it does. And really, really liking this and really love it, and really kind of like liking, I guess, this new, I can't say new, but like this sort of new generation of bands who are kind of diving into this. You talk about like Mary Wallopers. I feel like you talk about these guys in Brogeel as well, and this kind of, I don't know, this kind of like new feel to things that's going to be really interesting to see kind of over the next few years play out. But like this feels like their biggest track to date, and like it's really grabbed our attention. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do. I think they can go on to really big things.
Completely agree. And just really cool to see like another band doing this and see a bit of like a sort of movement bubbling up. And also, I think to see, I think the Scottish folk stuff has always been a bit overlooked by the success of the Dubliners, the success of people like the Wolftones, then through the success of the Pogues, Fontaines. Like, there's always been a bit more of that folk, like post-punk, punk, like marriage between the Irish and the English stuff, probably because of a history of migration and stuff like that. So it's quite cool to see a Scottish band doing the same sort of thing with their traditional instruments, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is Girl from NYC by Broke Heel.
Though we know I appreciate cafes and bounce stores lining the streets. The same joke has been in the same pawn shop every single week. She'll get rid of all the eyesores and she's always on the go. And there's a rumor going round that she's got it about. I want to park in a shopping mall, cause she's a hot shot, doesn't stop singing, like a lollipop, her voice seems preferred. Because a girl from New York City, she's just moved into town.
Lovely stuff. Really lovely stuff. We're really, really diving into some new music, aren't we?
New.
Not just new, but new. Because we want, from us to you, this show is but a gift and a vessel for you to discover some exciting new stuff.
Sure.
I've got one more track, and it's from a band called Absolutely Anytime, called Stars and Disasters. And this is a band who, genuinely, this is their second song out. Very, very new. I actually was sent this a few weeks back by a mate of mine who said that it would be right up my street, and turns out it was.
Well, and that's not meant as an insult, or?
It's right. This is like an incredibly just like I don't think I've heard anything like this in the past like few years. There's this kind of like sense of like wonky indie fun that's also writ with this sort of anthemic mid-noughties feel, which I like. It's just a real like standout. There's this feeling of like in your face confidence that shines through, which we'll talk about a little bit further as we go through the show, because confidence and that kind of like feeling of like owning the thing, it's kind of like everything that their like bands should be about nowadays, I think, anyway. But like you kind of see that.
I would just like to put it on record that I don't think this is a good song.
Right, there he is. Thanks, everyone. Fucking hell. Well,
I don't think it's about. I know, to be fair, it's not my kind of thing, which is fine. But also, I just want Jamie, you're so gushing about this that I'm like, I can't, in all good conscience, stay here and pretend that I feel as strongly, positively about it as you do. I think it's fine.
Well, this is brand new, so go have a listen. Enjoying this.
That's
really
the other thing.
This
is a band very, very early on, and fine often leads to very, very good.
Yes.
So, but it just not my kind of thing, to be honest. But I just played a Scottish folk song, so lots of things are very, very my thing, and very, very not other people's. So that's fine.
You can be the judge, basically. That's all we're trying to say.
I feel like you might get more takers for wonky indie than Scottish folk, but I hope to be proven wrong.
Really soaring. If you like the fan of that mid-naughty stuff, I like the kind of like feel. And I think, mainly more important to me, I don't think I've heard a song kind of like this in quite a while. So enjoy. Big fan of this. And you tell us afterwards which side you pick. This is Absolutely Anytime, Stars and Disasters.
I'm tired, I'm confused. I do anything, and everything. Oh, I feel so tired, I'm confused. I do anything, and everything. Oh,
You said everything and left is in stars.
And there we go. Obviously, this is recorded before, so we can't tell who's kind of agreeing and who's not.
You'll have to send the fan mail to the normal address.
Yes, exactly. But I win. I think that's basically what it says. Let's get to our album, shall we? Because this, I don't know if you've heard this band called The Last Dinner Party. Don't know if you've heard of them. It's The Time Has Come. Prelude to Ecstasy is out. Debut album from probably the most talked about band in the UK right now. You're talking Brit Awards.
I would say so. I think the biggest thing for this, you're talking a new indie band that got to what, number 22 in the singles chart.
In the singles chart, yes.
Which is pretty insane. That does not happen.
No.
And no one deserves it more than these guys. They're great.
Exactly. It's like, and there's like number 22 in the singles chart. Graham Norton show, Sound Off top list, Brit Awards, all of that and more, late night US TV. It feels like the past month, and obviously before that, and we can talk about that a bit further, the world has kind of caught on to kind of, I think what, a lot of people have been saying for a while, which is they are the most exciting new band out there right now, but also the most like uncomparable, if that makes sense. Like they are completely doing their own thing, and I think that is why them and this debut album is so good. What do you think, Jake, in your opinion, has kind of led them to this point? Like, what do you think has kind of like been like, right, this is how they've done
everything, isn't it? I think it's just like, I mean, it's completely like unquantifiable, but it is, they're confident, the songs are great, the stage presence is great, they're doing something unique, like, it's catchy, it's everything it needs to be, and like you can't really identify, I would say, one thing.
Yeah, I think it is.
Maybe it sounds like you're like putting together a lunch or something while I talk.
I was trying to slowly slip from my Dr. Pepper whilst you communicated there.
Oh, I see. That was the untwisting of a cat.
Yeah,
well,
that
much
was
like Dr. Pepper, no one knows what's in them, but by God, do they sell?
Put that on the poster. Play the songs. We're done. We've got it covered. In and nailed on it. I think there's just something to be said. This album is like for a debut album from a band, I think what kind of stands out the most is just how together it is and how different it feels. Like this album feels more like, I don't know, like a theatre performance than like just an album and collection of tracks.
Definitely. I think it's got. I think the fact that there's a lot of comparisons being made to that early Florence the Machine, shows that kind of level of like almost theatrical stuff, but also shows like how long it's been since a band have been doing anything like this. That like people are like, well, I guess the closest is this, and it's not really that, but it kind of is. It's just really good, and I think like same with Wet Leg. Who I think are the closest analogy in like recent times with that mainstream breakthrough and that like rise. The album that has come out after that doesn't play it safe, and that's another part of what you release a song is huge. You're like, okay, that's great. Then you release another song, that's huge. You're like, okay, like still, and then the album comes out and you've managed to take risks and it still lands, and it does just show it was not just like a flash in the pan. Because I think the tendency would be if you accidentally released a first song and it was huge, you would be like, okay, let's just make a load of other songs that sound really similar to that and hope it happens again. And I think the proof that it isn't an accident is that they haven't done that.
Yeah, I think kind of that is definitely something that like it's the feel of like they've known from the very beginning exactly who they want to be, what they want this album to be, and have not shifted or moved from it at all. And that I think really is like, testament to them in terms of just like, we know what we've got here and we have this vision of who we want to be. We're not going to be led by anything else around. And that also feeds into the fact that there isn't a band like The Last Dinner Party around anywhere. You can compare them to other new bands and say, well, that's a band and that's a band and that's a band. But there's no one that's like them who's doing what they're doing. This combination of these pop elements, these theatrical elements, these like heavy rock riff elements that like chime in out of nowhere, these more like classical music elements, like these more like showmanship elements that all dive in, like that. It's so clear that they have this vision front and center, and by not playing around or like being like, oh well, that song maybe didn't do immediately exactly how we wanted it to do, so maybe we should probably try and do this because that other band over there are doing it and they're successful. The fact they've kind of just gone, no, this is what we're doing, and they've stuck to it, and it's meant that basically you're like, oh well, when you discover this band, you're like, okay, well this is who this band are. You know, you're kind of faced with it. You're not on that case of you're like, well, this is a band, but they might do this, they might do that. It's like they're already like this formed world in particular has just been incredible to see. And this album delivers on that because it's so just like it is itself. Like it doesn't want to like be play upon like, oh, this is a song that's going to sound like that. If you're a fan of this, you're like this. It's here is the world. Here is what Last Dinner Party is all about. And go and dive in because it's the results are stunning. And if anyone who's obviously seen them live over the past how many years, I mean, like, you know, will attest, like that sense of show and I guess like story, if you will, narrative has been there from the beginning. It's really, really amazing to see that has been transferred into the record as well. And like, I mean, we're going to play Burn Alive as the first kind of like track looking at this album. And this is a prime example of a song that it's worked so well live over the many. I mean, like, you know, even just me and you have seen this band so many times in many different places, you know, from pubs to like.
I think I've only seen them like 2 or 3 times, but yeah.
Well, yeah. But like, I remember
they have been excellent. And yeah, that has been a big variance of locations, and they've smashed it every time.
Yeah, exactly. Like they will play that small pub that, you know, you've seen them in and nail it, and then also do like these like amazing big rooms. I mean, at the end of last year, they were like on an arena tour with like Hosier and like playing these large rooms, and it works. You know, it works so well. But this is a song which I think is probably a really good example of how they've managed to transfer that from the live setting into the album, and it works so well. But actually, also like there's more on that recorded record to kind of like hear. So yeah, this is Burn Alive by the Last Dinner Party. Big tune, a very, very
huge tune.
Some would say a massive tune, if you will.
Some of them would say that.
Exactly. Do you think like it's just it's an interesting side really, because we're obviously talking about, you know, the live show and kind of all the demos, and I guess kind of also the fact that, you know, for a very long time we had no recorded music out from the Last Dinner Party.
Well, we still don't.
I mean, I think it has been less than a year since Nothing Matters came out. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like the rise has just been so incredible. Like, do you think this kind of starts maybe, I don't know, like a new era in bands? Like, it's a bold statement to make, but I say that just because of everything that's around it right now.
I think it is. I mean, there is a continuum there, and I think like the same with Wet Leg saying, "Oh, like we wouldn't have formed without idols." Like, I think there is obviously always a continuum, and everyone is always taking from someone else. And I think even like the idea of like Shame releasing their debut, and then bands like Sports Team like signing to Ireland and getting into that like top 10, and like then Fontaine's getting a number 1. Like there's always kind of these ups and downs, and everything kind of lends itself to something else. I think what we are seeing is like one of those very generational things where like a band breaks out of being a band, and it does feel like they're kind of going to become a household name in the same way that Wet Leg off of one album are like at the point of like headline and stuff like that. There's just these bands that have come out of the gates and just done absolutely everything right, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, it's just that knowing. I know I talked about it earlier, but it is that thing of, you know, they already had this album in mind, you know, when they first arrived. Like, it was already there in all cases, basically. And so there was never a need to be like, oh, well, we better actually get round to, you know, we better do the album. It's like, we know exactly what we have. We know exactly what we want to do. I think what's been amazing is that, you know, if you wrote down on paper The Last Dinner Party as, you know, this band who have, you know, elements of kind of like, you know, indie, elements of, I guess, post-punk, elements of theatrical theatre and, Kate Bush and all of these other elements. If you write that down on paper, you think, this sounds absolutely nonsense. This sounds like something that is never going to work and never going to cross over, I think, in the way that it has, where this is the most talked about band in the country right now. Maybe up there as the most talked about, like artist, if you will, in the country. This week, right now, I think it's hard to find anyone else talking about them. But there is this sense of they have the confidence to do this. And I think that has shone through, especially live, but the confidence as well to kind of make these really powerful, stunning songs. But if you go away at the core of it, some of these incredibly, I guess raw, like Beautiful Boy, is like a stunning track, talked about Nothing Matters, but On Your Side, it's an amazing album that is, I think just is one that cuts a bit more than most. It's really, really stunning to see, and especially something you see live. If you want to kind of see a little bit more on that, go to the Daughter website. I'm really good at plugging this show, by the way.
Yeah,
I feel like I've nailed it.
Yeah.
You can read, friend of the show, because he has actually been on.
Yeah, I would say host, person, I can't think of the word. Substitute host.
Substitute host, Ali Shutter, went down, to the, the unveiling at the Roundhouse, which you can check online. But, he talks about it being, opening almost like a Disney show. It's such a stunning moment of a band who are unlike anything else, and to see that kind of play out has been amazing. This album captures it all. I think throughout you are just hooked throughout. And it's amazing to see. So a really, really one of those debut albums that just does cross over and does, really feel like I feel like we're in the middle of something right now. And it's hard to say. And what's in
100%. And I was just going to say, I think there are those things when you go to a certain venue or to a certain scene, and there are these times where you think oh, this is actually going to be a thing that people will be jealous they weren't at in a few years' time. Yeah. And I think being there and involved in and listening to music when this is coming through, I think this album and this moment, they're always, even if they never did anything else, this would always be something that was remembered because it came out so perfectly formed and so well executed that it does feel quite special to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that across everything. You can see that across, going to the shows and seeing people's reactions, seeing the connection that it's kind of, causing, I think one thing I'll always kind of remember, just because it ties kind of into this, is that I think when we first had them in our hype list, and when I was chatting to them, the thing that did come across was they want to be the band that they wanted to see when they were younger, and the importance and impact that will have on, not it's just I guess everyone that gets pulled into it, but, in particular, young women wanting to get into music and being in music. And it's a really prevalent moment, to talk about that as well with regards to other things going on. But to kind of see that come to fruition now and to see this moment happen is amazing to see, and to see that they've become that thing that they've wanted to be. It's really, really stunning to see. And this album, I think, is going to really stand the test of time. It already feels like a big one for the year. And to see where they go next is going to be interesting. I mean, the Reading and Leeds main stage is now calling their name. So
100%, yeah.
Let's see where that goes. Should we play one more track from the album, Jake?
Yes, that is the format.
That is the format. What shall we play? What's one of your favourites?
One of my favourites of the new ones is Feminine Urge. So we're going to play that one because I'm in charge.
Bam. Here it is.
I am a dark red liver stretched out on the rock, solid poison. I've converted and I've done it enough. Here comes a feminine urge. I know it so well. To nurture the wounds my mother had. Oh, ballerina, bend under the weight of it all. And find to hold the world in your hands. Do you feel like a man when I can't talk back? Do you want me or do you want control?
had some technical issues, and now we're recording the last 10 minutes of the show for, I think, a third time a day after we first did it.
So basically,
so you better be bloody grateful if you're listening at home.
It's gone well. It's all gone very well. So you would have heard us just before, and that was saying how amazing the Last Dinner Party album is. It still is amazing. That hasn't changed.
A day later, we can still confirm.
Can confirm it is still brilliant, and go pick up a copy. Do all of that. Do the fun.
Do the fun.
Do the fun. It's the joy time. And now, because we are a day later, we can revisit the tweets of the week. Hey!
Hooray.
We still haven't worked out yet about if this is like, if X has X really been accepted yet?
No,
I don't know if it has. It hasn't.
The URL is still Twitter, so
yeah, this is it. Like, if you're going to get involved, get involved.
Je ressens.
Oh, I say.
just TNT and summon up for 5 minutes time. Don't you worry, Jamie.
Oh, the joys! Stick around, everyone.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. Shall I start with the first tweet of the week?
Please do, yeah. Please.
So, are you aware of Fake Showbiz News, the Twitter?
I am indeed.
Come up with some good stuff.
I'm even more aware of it than I was the last two times we recorded this.
Well, you won't believe what they've tweeted.
Won't I?
So says Sophie Ellis-Bextor says at the age of 44, she feels too old to learn any new board games. I'm done, she told reporters. That's been quote tweeted by Sophie Ellis-Bextor saying, again, not fake news. Board games.
Done. I'm with Sophie on this.
You're not in it.
See, I think that board games fundamentally fulfill a need that we no longer have as people.
Which is what?
Well, the fact that you're sitting down and someone's 30 and they're like, oh, have you played Cluedo before? You're like, oh, no, I haven't. And they're like, okay, well, you're Professor Plum and you're in the kitchen and you think that me, Captain Scarlet or whatever the fuck, killed someone in the living room. So you've got to roll a dice and then you've got to get to the living room before you can accuse me of doing that, which A, is an insane way to run a crime scene. And B,
terrible.
Like, we have films, we have video games.
We have VR now. We have VR.
Exactly. We have VR. We even have like immersive experiences, escape rooms, things like that. So I just think the only time that you would play a game like that is at a time like Christmas where you have nothing to say to your extended family. And frankly, you're not learning a new one then. Because it's annoying enough for me to learn a new game, and I'm 29. Teaching your 80-year-old man, no, Sophie Ellis-Bextor is correct here.
Yeah, who's bringing out new board games right now? I feel like...
Well, they bring out ones where it's like, oh, you put this thing in your mouth and then you dribble everywhere. And I'm like, we used to be a proper country.
Freddo's used to be 5p.
Exactly. We used to play games with dignity.
Now that's it.
Not just drooling all over the remains of a turkey,
Do you know that what's the most popular board game, do you reckon, on the planet, by the way? I've got
Connect 4.
Chess.
Or Go. Oh, chess doesn't count. Chess doesn't count.
It's bollocks, isn't it? It's bollocks. Technically, then it's Cards Against Humanity, which is the most popular.
That's not a board game. That's a card game.
Charades.
That's not a board game. There's no board in charades. Where's the board in charades?
Whoever's compiled this list, I've got a real problem with this.
You've got chess, and then you've got two things with no board involved.
That's the board games, apparently.
What's number 4? Basketball.
At 4, Monopoly and Mousetrap comes in. So I think we're...
Right, so Monopoly.
Yeah. These are great. I'm a big fan. So basically what you're saying is not only don't learn any new board games, but maybe just get rid of them as a whole.
Not get rid of them, but I just think, as a kid, yeah, fine, whatever. But other than that, no one ever enjoys it, do they?
really.
No.
What you're doing when you get a board game out is basically saying, look, we'd all rather be doing stuff we actually like, but we're obliged to be here. And if you're going to do that, at least play one you already know the rules to.
What you could do instead of playing a board game
is kill someone.
Well, yes.
On the
and you can do
floor.
that on the dance. This is basically like the biggest song of the year. So yeah, this is Murder on the Dance Floor. So good, but
If you think you're getting away, I will prove you wrong. I'll take you all the way. Stay another song. I'll blow you all away. It's murder on the dance floor, but you better not kill the groove. It's murder on the dance floor, but you better not steal the moves, DJ. Gonna turn this house around.
Bold of you to have said it's the biggest song of the year in early February.
well, I am factually correct at this point. Is what I'm saying.
I suppose.
And then if I'm saying it later in the year, maybe there's up for debate. But right now, I'm calling it. But right now, as much as the year has been, I'm calling that.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to got another tweet there? Have you, Jake? Or,
Yeah, I forgot what I was doing.
Again,
sorry.
we've recorded this part of the show. So
Yeah, but this is new.
Now.
This is new. This is an exciting development. Right, so CMAT,
Yes.
friend of the show, friend of the magazine, etc., international pop star.
Yeah.
She has tweeted...
Je viens de commander 3 verres pour moi dans un restaurant à Montmartre, eau, jus, coca, et le serveur m'a dit, tu vas te noyer.
So she tweeted that a while ago, and now she's quote tweeted that. And she said...
Je suis de retour à Paris depuis quelques semaines et je vis à nouveau dans la peur de ce jugement. Donc comme vous pouvez l'imaginer, je suis très déshydratée. Comment des Français peuvent-ils exister avec si peu d'eau tout en restant si souples? Je ressemble déjà à Bob l'éponge quand il s'attaque au dôme de Sandy.
Right.
The dome to Sunday!
People listening at home, if you're French or you speak French, can you please let us know if that is at all accurate? Because Google Translate used to be janky as fuck, and I don't know if it still is. I do love that SpongeBob, which I will read the full tweet in English, SpongeBob in French is Bob l'éponge.
Bob l'éponge!
Right, Seema tweeted in April last year, I just ordered 3 drinks for myself at a restaurant in Montmartre. Water, juice, Coke, and the waiter said, you will drown. And now she has quote tweeted that with, back in Paris for a few weeks and I'm living in fear of this judgment again. So as you can imagine, I'm very dehydrated. How can French people exist with so little water yet remain so supple? I already look like Bob l'éponge when he's raw dogging Sandy's dome.
Dome to Sandy!
Dome to Sandy.
Ponge l'éponge! Fuck's sake! Oh, well, we're an international show. What can I say?
We are.
We truly are. This is it. The branching out. Oh, God. What was SpongeBob again? Bob
l'éponge.
Bob l'éponge.
Yeah, actually, the reason we included this one, though, is because I completely agree, because I went to Paris a while ago, and I went for the day.
Yeah.
So I got the Eurostar. So I'd been up early. I had like coffee and like not much else. I went to the Musée d'Orsay and I was walking around and I was seized by an irrepressible thirst. So I thought to myself, I'll go to a vending machine or a cafe or
anywhere,
a drinking fountain.
Yeah.
None of those existed. And I had a thorough look. If you work for the Musée d'Orsay and you do have those things, you need to signpost them because I could not find them. The only thing I could find was a full sit-down restaurant with a queue. And that was it. So I had to leave, go to like corner shoppy place, buy 1.5 litres of water because they had no smaller sizes, drink it all in one go by the river, because they wouldn't let me into anywhere else with the water. And then carry on with my day, which is an insane way to have to live in what is considered an elegant city.
Yeah. So is it? It's clearly just a thing where I don't know that there's just not many places to get drinks, or like is it the restaurant culture is the vibe?
Maybe it's the restaurant culture, but to me, like having a little bottle of water with you, that's nice. You know, a sip of water.
Well, I famously don't really believe in water.
Well, France is the place for you.
Yeah, well, but I would still need some other form of like liquids in order to survive, and clearly that's an issue here. And clearly
wine.
So, but how do they then remain so supple? That is the question. Like,
I couldn't answer that, I'm afraid.
Is it, I don't know, activity? Is it the air? Is the air quite,
Bob l'éponge.
Bob l'éponge.
Shout out Bob l'éponge. I tell you what, though, what I do enjoy about this is the most Parisian waiter thing ever. To not say, "Oh, that's quite a few drinks," just to say, "You will drown."
You will drown. Yeah. Not thanks for ordering multiple beverages. Just purely, you're going to drown.
Yeah,
that's it.
You'll die, and you'll deserve
You'll be dead. So stop it in that regards. Well, I hope that CMAT, wherever you are, well, clearly Paris, you. I hope you're remaining, I don't know, fucking drunk. Not drunk. What is it?
Well hydrated?
Hydrated? That's fucking play a song, please.
Okay, this is Have Fun by CMAT.
Oh, fucking hell. Bob L'Eponge. Bob L'Eponge. There
Bob
he
L'Eponge.
is. Bob L'Eponge. With the idea of Bob L'Eponge truly in mind, I think that brings to an end this week's show.
Yes.
Well, let's see if this recording works, because if it doesn't, we're back again.
That's true. Remember, everyone, there's a lot of things you can buy tickets to, and that's good, and you should do it. And also, remember that the London Assembly and mayoral elections take place on Thursday, the 2nd of May, 2024. And you must be registered and live in London if you want to vote. So, just something to get on.
Yeah.
Something to do. Maybe you could do it on the train down to the Church of Blood Records or to a Dorks Night Out. That's up to you.
Don't take my plugging away from me. Do that. Goodbye.